Hey guys, Hounn here, coming at you once again with a new LP today. As you can probably guess from the title of this video and from the opening scene, this is going to be on a Hoenn game, and this is going to be on Pokémon Emerald. Yeah, I was going to do New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, but I decided to abort that LP just for now, just because I don't know how it's going to work with commentary. I don't think it's a game that kind of works with commentary. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I think normally an Emerald LP kind of, I don't know, for some reason I feel like it either makes or breaks your channel, because I feel like a lot of people really love the Hoenn games, and yeah, it's one of those games that everybody loves. And it's not hard to see why. I mean, it introduced a lot of new features, such as abilities. So here's the title screen anyway. Let's enter. And yeah, I thought this is a good game, but there are other... I'm just going to change some stuff here. It's nice how you can do this actually in like the beginning of the game before you even start, which is nice. I'm going to go for type 12. That's usually the one I have. As I was saying, I totally forgotten what I was saying, but actually, yeah, I do remember. It's a good game, but I do prefer the Sinnoh games, to be quite honest, and Black 2 and White 2. But anyway, here's Professor Birch. He is the professor of the Hoenn region. Hi, sorry to keep you waiting. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Birch, but everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. This is what we call a Pokemon. That's Lotad. This world is widely inhabited by creatures known as Pokémon. We humans live alongside Pokémon, at times as friendly playmates and at times as cooperative workmates. And sometimes we band together and battle others like us. But despite our closeness, we don't know everything about Pokémon. In fact, there are many, many secrets surrounding Pokémon. To unravel Pokémon mysteries, I've been undertaking research. That's what I do. And you are? Are you a boy or are you a girl? So you can be either a boy or a girl. I will be a boy. Well, that sounded kind of weird. In this game, you do probably want to have your name in all caps, just to kind of be consistent with other characters in the game. As this is one of those games that has capitalized names throughout. So just kind of for consistency, you know. Oh, okay. You're Sean, who's moving to my hometown of Littleroot. I get it now. Good, I'm glad you get it. Alright, are you ready? Your very own adventure is about to unfold. Take courage and leap into the world of Pokemon where dreams, adventure and friendships await. Well, I'll be expecting you later. Come see me in my Pokemon lab. So you get shrunk down to size, and a very interesting scene where you're in the back of a moving truck, which is kind of weird. You'd think I would kind of be in a car like a normal human being. I don't know. Anyway, so we'll get out the back and jump out. And here's our mama. Sean, we're here, honey. It must be tiring riding with our things in the moving truck. Yeah, you don't say. What did you have? Where were you? Well, this is Littleroot Town. How'd you like it? This is our new home. It has a quaint feel, but it seems like an easy place to live, don't you think? And you get your own room, Sean. Let's go inside. Well, it's only the two of us. I should freaking hope so. See, Sean, isn't it nice in here too? The movers Pokemon do all the work of moving us in and cleaning up after. This is so convenient. Sean, your room is upstairs. Go check it out, dear. Dad bought you a new clock to mark our move here. Don't forget to set it. So yeah, for some reason they changed these moving Pokemon from Machoke to Vigoroth. I'm not really too sure why, but you know, minor change. Alright, so the usual stuff going on. You can withdraw a potion from the PC, as you always can do. You can actually lie in the beds here, which is kind of weird. Could do that in previous games. And you also have a dad, a named dad. Ugh, I stumbled over that. A named dad in this game, unlike other games, which is kind of weird. Anyway, so you need to set the clock to carry on with the game, pretty much. So it is just after 2:30 right now. Just almost 22, so let's go with there. Yes, it is the correct time. Doesn't actually change what it looks like on the overworld, but it doesn't matter. Sean, how'd you like your new room? Good, everything's put away neatly. They finished moving everything in downstairs too. Pokemon movers are so convenient. Oh, you should make sure that everything's all there on your desk. So you can check your desk for some kind of adventure tips if you so desire. Oh, Sean, quick, come quickly. Look, it's Petalburg Gym. Maybe Dad'll be on. Okay, so it is revealed that your dad is a gym leader, which means we'll be fighting him before too long. And now we have to go visit Professor Birch. Surprise, surprise. It's usually the same premise in all of these games, so you have to kind of get used to it. So we need to go to his house. I'm just strolling in, completely unopposed. Oh, hello, and you are? Oh, you're Sean, our new next door neighbour. Hi. We have a daughter about the same age as you. Our daughter was excited about making a new friend. Our daughter is upstairs, I think. Okay, I don't know why you would think that. Surely you would know. And she isn't here, so it's a very observant parenting. Useless. So this must be May. Huh? Who are you? Oh, you're Sean, so you're movers today. I'm May. Glad to meet you. I have this dream of becoming friends with Pokemon all over the world. I heard about you, Sean, from my dad, Professor Birch. I was hoping that you would be nice, Sean, and that we could become friends. Oh, this is silly, isn't it? I've just met you, Sean. Ehehe. Oh no, I forgot. I was supposed to go help Dad catch some wild Pokemon. That's weird. Wasn't it just a minute ago that was capitalised and now it's not? That's kind of weird. Sean, I'll catch you later. Alright, so as soon as you've done that, you basically now have to go get your starter Pokemon. But let's go visit the lab, see what's kind of happening in there. Oh, there's nobody here. Okay. Who are you? Huh? Professor Birch? The professor's away on fieldwork. Ergo, he isn't here. Oh, let me explain what fieldwork is. Sorry. It is to study things in the natural environment, like fields and mountains, instead of a laboratory. The professor isn't one for doing desk work. He's the type of person who would rather go outside and experience things than read about them here. Fair. Okay. So, I really need the running shoes. So, as soon as you've triggered the maze scene, you do want to come up here. If you do so before triggering that scene, you will be pushed back. Hi, there are scary Pokemon outside. I can hear their cries. I want to go see what's going on, but I don't have any Pokemon. Can you go see what's happening for me? Well, I didn't have any Pokemon before, so why do you think I would be more equipped to do this now? Help me! Oh, well that looks like Professor Birch being chased by a Zigzagoon. Hello, you over there! Please, help! In my bag, there's a Pokeball! So for some reason this was changed to a Zigzagoon instead of a Poochyena. Another very odd change. I'm not sure why they did that, but... Anyway, so... Here is the 3 starters of Hoenn. Trico, the grass type. Torchic, the fire type. And Mudkip, the water type. So, as I've been doing with my Black 2 LP, we will be having some personalised Pokemon reviews right now. Okay, so the first starter you can get from Professor Birch is Trico. Trico is a grass type and can have the ability Overgrow, like all other grass type starters. Obviously, it's just received as a starter, can't be caught anywhere else. When looking at its stats, you can see that it mainly excels in the special side, especially in special attack, but it also is also pretty damn fast as well. When it evolves into Grovyle at level 16, it picks up a lot more in the stat department, particularly in special attack, as well as pretty good physical attack as well, and also becomes pretty zippy for an unevolved Pokemon. Can't be caught anywhere, so you must evolve it from Trico. When it evolves into Sceptile at level 36, it picks up some seriously good speed, pretty decent special attack, usable physical attack, and pretty okay defences on the special side. Not so much on the physical side, but it doesn't matter too much. As for its kind of moveset and coverage, it has some pretty good moves to cover. It gets pretty much the second best grass type move in the entire game, which is unique to it, which is Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is a 70 power move in this game, obviously special base because it's a grass type move. And it's very good, has a lot of power points, is quite powerful for a grass type move, and works very well. Can also learn other coverage moves such as like Dragon Claw, Aerial Ace, Brick Break. It can learn Quick Attack as well for some priority. You can also learn Pursuit and Fury Cutter through level up. It is just, seriously, Sceptile is an amazing Pokemon. It really is definitely usable and is by far the best grass type in the entire game. Sceptile gets the full 5 stars. Okay, so the next starter you can possibly choose from Professor Birch is Torchic. Torchic is a fire type. It can have the ability Blaze, as with all other fire type starters. It's obviously only received as a starter from Professor Birch at the beginning of the game, and not caught anywhere else. When looking at its stats, you can tell that it is mainly used for offensive. Has definitely very good special attack and physical attack for an unevolved Pokemon. It's kind of slow and it's kind of weak on the defensive side, but that doesn't mean it's bad. But when it evolves into Combusken at level 16, it picks up a fighting subtype, which gives it some very interesting coverage, and also picks up a lot more in the physical and special attack department, becoming pretty good in those, and picking up a little more speed, still a little on the slow side, but pretty damn good still. Keeps its ability Blaze though, and is basically just obtained by evolving Torchic. When it evolves into Blaziken at level 36, it picks up a lot of special attack and physical attack, excelling mainly in physical attack, but is still pretty damn good in both attacking stats. Is a little weak on the defensive side, but that HP does kind of cushion those attacks a little bit, and it's on the kind of speed. I mean, it's fast, but not really fast, I guess. But when it comes to Blaziken, Blaziken is amazing. It really is. It learns some really good fire type moves, really good fighting type moves. I think it gets priority in quick attack as well. It can learn really good coverage moves like Rock Tomb and Dig. It gets fairly flawless coverage in its stab moves alone, really. And if you shove on a rock type move like Rock Tomb as well, then it becomes all the more better. Blaziken gets the full 5 stars. The final starter you can receive from Professor Birch at the beginning of the game is Mudkip. Mudkip is the water type starter and has the ability Torrent, as with all water type starters. Can obviously only be received as a starter from the beginning of the game, and not caught anywhere else. When looking at its stats, you can tell that it's just a typical water type, has very balanced stats all across the board. Excelling in physical attack though, and is on a little on the slow side. When it evolves into Marshtomp at level 16, it picks up a ground subtype, which is a very interesting subtype, which gives it only one weakness, which is a quad weakness to grass, which is kind of okay and not okay at the same time. But it keeps its ability, picks up a lot more in the physical attack department, still getting pretty decent defences, but is a little lacking on the special attack side and on speed. But when it evolves into Swampert at level 36, it keeps its ability still, has very good defensive stats, is definitely made to be a bulky attacker, especially when looking at that physical attack stat, which is pretty damn good. Its special attack is usable. It's not amazing, but it's usable, and it is a little on the slow side. When looking at Swampert with its moves, it doesn't really have too much to offer, but it does get very good coverage in its stab moves plus an ice type move such as Ice Beam. When looking at Swampert and its stats, you've really got to consider the fact that Hoenn has a lot of water types. The last, say, fifth of the game is solely water types, and you've got to take that into account when you consider Swampert. Swampert is amazing, especially in competitive play, but when in game, it can be compared to a lot of different water types, and it falls a little flat on its face when you consider the fact that its main type is water, which is special in this generation no matter what move you use, and its special attack really isn't that high. If it was solely a ground type, it would do very well, but the fact that it's got to rely on water type moves kind of lets it down a little bit. That's not to say Swampert's a bad Pokemon, because Swampert is very, very good. But as for this, Swampert will get 4 stars. Okay, so let's see. I, in this game, am not going to be choosing a water type for the 4th time, so don't worry about it. I'm not going to be choosing Torchic. I'm going to be going with Trico this time. Not because I rate it as a 5-star Pokemon, just because there are very limited grass types in this game. Although, to be honest with you, there's very, very limited fire types. Having said that, however, well, okay, I'll just tell you, I'm not using a fire type in this LP at all. I'm going to be using a grass type and a water type, as a water type is usually essential, but yeah, I'm just going to be using Trico just because I haven't used it in a while. I always end up using Torchic just because it's practically only one of 2 usable fire types in this game. There are like 5, but only 2 are really usable, so kind of sucks. It's a bit like Diamond and Pearl. However, in Diamond and Pearl there are literally only 2 fire types. In this, you've got a bit more choice, but they're not very good. Whew! I was in the tall grass studying wild Pokemon when I was jumped. You saved me. Thanks a lot. Oh. Hi, you're Sean. This is not the place to chat, so come by my Pokemon lab later, okay? So you just get warped there. So, Sean, I've heard so much about you from your father. I heard that you don't even have your own Pokemon yet. But the way you battled earlier, you pulled it off with aplomb. I guess you have your father's blood in your veins after all. Well, duh. Oh yes, as thanks for rescuing me, I'd like you to have the Pokemon you used earlier. So you get the Trico. While you're at it, why not get... okay. Oh, it's a female. That's kind of weird. This has happened twice in a row now. It's usually quite rare to get a female. Now, I honestly have not even thought about a nickname for this thing. Let's see. Alright, well, I'm going to call it kind of a odd nickname. You can pick nicknames for your Pokemon. Well, you can change them at... Slateport City, which is just after the 2nd badge. I'm just going to call it kind of a name that I kind of call Trico sometimes. Bladestorm. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, and when I do think of something, I'll change it when I get to Slateport. If you work at Pokemon and gain experience, I think you'll make an extremely good trainer. My kid, May, is also studying Pokemon while helping me out. Sean, don't you think it might be a good idea to go see May? No. Oh, don't be that way. You should go meet my kid. No. Oh, don't be that way. Yeah, so you have to say yes. Great. May should be happy too. Get May to teach you what it means to be a trainer. Alright, fine. I will. I will do that. Okay, so, if you do need to heal your Pokemon, once you've actually got it into some battles, you can heal your Pokemon at your house by talking to your mother. So, let's head on to Route 101. Can't catch any new Pokemon here, yet, obviously, because we haven't got any Pokeballs. But here's the one we saw earlier, Zigzagoon. I'm not sure what level it is you actually pick up your elemental attack. I think it's level 6, I'm not sure. But it is advisable to do some extra leveling up because you are going to have to fight your rival who has the starter which has a type advantage over yours. So if you picked Trico, she will have or he, depending on which player character you have, they will have a Torchic. If you chose Torchic, they will have a Mudkip, and if you chose Mudkip, they'll have a Trico. So the typical triangle of types doesn't usually change in the game. Well, I say usually, it doesn't ever change. I don't know where I was going with that. But it is advisable to... I'm not sure when it is you get your elemental attack, but that's generally the time to go into the rival fight, because that's when you'll have the best chance. Well, by that level I mean. You shouldn't use your elemental attack against your rival, because your elemental attack won't be very effective against them. So it will do only 50% of the normal damage. So is it level 6? Yes it is! And Trico learns Absorb. Torchic learns Ember, and I think Mudkip either learns Bubble or Water Gun. I think it's Water Gun. So Trico kind of drew the short straw there, but it doesn't matter. He will have the best Grass type move in the game, well, I guess kind of second best. When he's fully evolved, he has a signature move called Leaf Blade, which is 70 power in this game. Grass type move, and is better than Giga Drain. Has more PP as well, and yeah, it's almost it's as good as Petal Dance, but Petal Dance obviously locks you in and makes you confused. Obviously the best one is Solar Beam, but that takes a turn of Charge Up or Sunny Day. Hi, I work at a Pokemon Mart. Can I get you to come with me? That was a long walk. Jesus, I can't do any more. I mean, so much work having to walk that far. Anyway, this is a Pokemon Mart. Just look for our blue roof, or the fact that it says Mart on the side. We sell a variety of goods, including Pokeballs for catching Pokemon. I was doing that as if it was a run-on sentence. It wasn't. Here, I'd like you to have this as a promotional item. So she gives, or he, I don't even know who that is, will give you a potion. A potion can be used any time, so it's even more useful than a Pokemon Center in certain situations. That is true. Speaking of which, this is the Pokemon Center. If you wish to heal your Pokemon when you're not at home, then you want to speak to the Nurse Joy behind the counter, and she will rest your Pokemon. I think I just did this, and I couldn't remember whether I did it or not. Anyway. Okay, so let us see what's going on in town. This isn't a particularly big town. It's about as big as Littleroot, maybe a little bit bigger. When Pokemon battle, they eventually level up and become stronger. You don't say. Oh, that woman has really bad red eyes. If the Pokemon with you becomes stronger, you'll be able to go farther away from here. That is true. Although, generally you do actually get stronger by going farther away from here. I want to take a rest, so I'm saving my progress. What a good idea. Hello, what are you doing? I just discovered the footprints of a rare Pokemon. Wait until I finish sketching them, okay? So yeah, you can't go onto Route 102 just now. You have to wait until after you've fought your rival. Hello? When a Pokemon battle starts, the one at the left... yeah, top left, that should say, of the list goes out first. So when you get more Pokemon in your party, try switching around the order of your Pokemon. It could give you an advantage. That is true. Okay, so I don't really need to buy anything from the mart right now, since the only thing we can buy is potions. So let's move on to Route 103, which is where we want to fight our rival. This isn't a rival, but my Pokemon is staggeringly tired. I should have bought a potion. Or just walk about 20 steps south and you'll be at Pokemon Center. Woohoo, didn't get any Pokemon. Okay, so, yeah, Bladestorm's fine, as is. So, I'm just going to save, just in case this... Whoops. I do have 2 potions, but in case this kind of goes a bit wrong, then I have that to fall back on. Alright, so... let's see. The Pokemon found on Route 103 include... Oh, hi Sean. Oh, I see. My dad gave you a Pokemon as a gift. Since we're here, let's have a quick battle. Cue the awesome music. I'll give you a... oh, okay, there was one more line. I didn't even realise. I'll give you a taste of what being a trainer is like. Okay, so you don't hear this theme nearly enough in this game, and she or he never ever actually gets a fully evolved starter, apart from, I think, in Ruby and Sapphire, if you started with Mudkip. I think that's the only time. I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, so, as I said before, they will have the starter that has a type advantage over yours, and it will be a level 5, so don't worry about any type advantages right now. Just trying to concentrate on doing damage with your normal type attack, which will either be Pound, Tackle, or Scratch. I think Mudkip has Tackle, but yeah. If you get too low on health, kind of risking it here, in fact I'm not even going to risk it, then you will want to heal with your potions. Provided you spoke to that woman and got one out of the, or got one out of the PC, or both. Okay, so that didn't really do much, but a critical hit means you have done double damage for that turn, and you will have done double damage, and you ignore any kind of stat boosts by the opposite person. So say if they use like Defense Curl, or they use Growl on you, it will ignore those boosts, but it will take into account boosts that you use. So like, say, an X item or Howl or something. I think I know why my dad hasn't... See, that's not capitalised. That's not capitalised at all. They're very inconsistent here. So I'm just a perfectionist. I notice everything. It's so frustrating sometimes. I think I know why my dad has an eye out for you now. I mean, you just got that Pokemon, but it already likes you. You might be able to befriend any kind of Pokemon easily. Well, it's time to head back to the lab. So she doesn't actually drag you back, but you do have to kind of tail her. So I don't really think I need to heal right now. I guess I could. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Okay, give me the running shoes. I mean, you can't run in any buildings. I think. I can't think of any other place that you can run other than the Trainer Hill, which we can't access until the after game, I don't think. But anyway, Sean, over here. Let's hurry home. Yeah, I can follow you, and I also do know where my house is. It's funny that. I mean, you know, I am only 10. I guess my memory hasn't fully developed yet. But anyway, don't know how stupid they think I am. Anyway, so let's head into the lab. You get force walked. Oh, hi, Sean. I heard you beat May on your first try. That's excellent. May's been helping with my research for a long time. May has an extensive history as a trainer already. Here, Sean, I ordered this for my research, but I think you should have this Pokédex. Cool. So you get the Pokédex. The Pokédex is a high-tech tool that automatically makes a record of any Pokemon you meet or catch. My kid, May, goes everywhere with it. Whenever my kid catches a rare Pokemon and records its data in the Pokédex, why, May looks for me while I'm out doing fieldwork and shows me. That was a really weirdly worded sentence, and that's really weird. That was really difficult to say. I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh wow, Sean, you got a Pokédex too. That's great, just like me. I've got something for you too. So you get 5 Pokeballs, which is kind of nice. It's fun if you can get a lot of Pokemon. I'm going to look all over the place because I want different Pokemon. If I find any cute Pokemon, I'll catch them with Pokeballs. Okay, so heading out the door and heading north, you'll notice your mum is outside. Wait, Sean! Sean, did you introduce yourself to Professor Birch? Oh, what an adorable Pokemon! You got it from Professor Birch. How nice! You're your father's child, all right. You look good together with Pokemon. Sorry. Here, honey, if you're going out on an adventure, wear these running shoes. They'll put a zip in your step. Thank you. Ugh. This was the first. Well, Ruby and Sapphire was the first game to actually introduce the running shoes, which was amazing. Seriously. Sean, those shoes came with Really? They're shoes. Press the B button while wearing these running shoes to run extra fast. Slip on these running shoes and race in the great outdoors. Oh, breaking the fourth wall. Once again. To think that you have your very own Pokemon now. Your father will be overjoyed. But please be careful. If anything happens, you can come home. Go on, go get them, honey. That I will. And look, I can finally run and move a little faster than I could before. Thank God. Alright, so we're on Route 101 once again. I think I already talked to you. So yeah, we can catch Pokemon now. I think to kind of split it up a little bit, I will include the Pokemon reviews of Route 101 and Route 103 together. Just because, why not? Because there's only one new Pokemon on Route 103 as opposed to 3 here. So yeah, I may do it on screen, I may not, I probably won't actually. But I will actually be catching myself a Wurmple. Now, don't get excited because I'm not using Wurmple on my team, but I will need it for later. But anyway, so I'm going to kind of stay in Oldale Town just for a second while we do the Pokemon reviews of Route 101 and 103. See you in a sec. One of the new Pokemon you can find on Route 101 is Poochyena. Poochyena is a dark type and has the ability Runaway. Can be found at routes 101, 102 and 103 in Ruby and Sapphire, and can be found on routes 101, 102, 103, 104, 110, 116, 117, 120, 121 and 123, as well as the Petalburg Woods in Emerald. When looking at its stats, you can see that it's got fairly balanced stats, excelling mainly in physical attack. When it evolves into Mightyena at level 18, its ability Runaway turns into Intimidate, which is a very good ability for it. As a Mightyena, it can be found on routes 120, 121 and 123 in Emerald, but you must evolve Poochyena to get it in Ruby and Sapphire. When looking at its stats, you can tell that it's obviously a very generic first route Pokemon. It has very low stats, sans its physical attack, which is okay. But also you must consider the fact that Dark is a special based type in this game, which means that it's not going to be able to utilise its physical attack very well, and as such it really does not do very well, and when comparing it to other Dark types it really does fall flat on its face. So I'm going to have to only be able to give Mightyena 1.5 stars. Another new Pokemon you can find on Route 101 is Zigzagoon. Zigzagoon is a normal type and can have the ability Pick Up. As a Zigzagoon, it can be found on routes 101, 102, 103, 104, 110, 116, 117, 120, 121, 123, as well as the Petalburg Woods in Ruby and Sapphire. However, in Emerald it can only be found on routes 101, 102, 103, 118 and 119. When looking at its stats, you can kind of deter that it must be a little bit of a defensive Pokemon, as its defences are much higher than its attacking stats, and has fairly decent speed for an evolved Pokemon. When it evolves into Linoon at level 20, its defences get a little better, I guess. Its physical attack is really low for a fully evolved Pokemon, but it is pretty fast. As a Linoon, it can be found on routes 118, 119, 120, 121 and 123 in Ruby and Sapphire, and in Emerald it can be found on routes 118 and 119. It keeps its ability as Pick Up though, which is kind of nice for a fully evolved Pokemon, as you can level it up to whatever level you like, look up the pickup table, and you can get some pretty good items from it, such as evolutionary items. I think you can get a few TMs as well. However, as a Pokemon to be used throughout the game as one of your main team, it really is not very good. It is outclassed by pretty much any normal type you can find in the game, and so really falls flat on its face. Linoon only gets 1.5 stars. The final new Pokemon you can find on Route 101 is Wurmple. Wurmple's a bug type and can have the ability Shield Dust. Can be found on routes 101, 102, 104 as well as the Petalburg Woods in all 3 games. When looking at its stats, you can tell that it's kind of defensive-ish with decent physical attack. However, its special attack and speed are very low. It can evolve into either Silcoon or Cascoon depending on its personality value. If it is less than 4, if it is 4 or less, it will evolve into Silcoon. If it is 5 or more, it will evolve into Cascoon. You cannot manipulate this value at all. It is completely out of your power, so you do not know which Pokemon it is actually going to evolve into. So you've got to kind of risk it on this one. When it evolves at level 7, obviously into either Silcoon or Cascoon, both can be found at Petalburg Woods in all 3 games, and its ability will change into Shed Skin. You can obviously tell that it is obviously physically defensive, having basically a similar build to Metapod and Kakuna in that it can only learn Harden from the get-go. However, it can also have the moves that Wurmple learned, of course. But of course neither are very good at this point. But at level 10, if you had a Silcoon, it will evolve into Beautifly. Beautifly will end up turning into a bug flying type, and its ability will change into Swarm. Can only be found by evolving Silcoon though. When looking at its stats, you can tell that it's obviously built for a more offensive role, having pretty decent special attack, and kind of okay stats everywhere else. Its defences are really low though. Beautifly struggles in the fact that its 2 stab moves are both physical in this generation, and is obviously built for special attacking. As well as that, it really doesn't have very good attacking moves for its bug type, and also for its flying type. Really, the best it's got is Aerial Ace. It really is not very good. It just doesn't have the stats to work with. It really falls flat on its face, and even its moveset is just not very good. If you had a Cascoon though, it will evolve into Dustox. Dustox will end up becoming a bug poison type, and its ability will change back into Shield Dust, like it was when it was a Wurmple, and can only be found when evolving Cascoon. So if you wish to get a Dustox or a Beautifly, you may as well catch the middle evolution in Petalburg Woods. When looking at Dustox, you can tell that it's obviously meant to be more of a defensive Pokemon, with its special defense being its best stat and its physical defense being kind of okay-ish. But its HP lets it down, its attacks are really bad, and it is as fast as Beautifly, which really isn't very fast at all. Dustox is obviously meant to be a supporting Pokemon, but it really does not do that very well. It has bad defenses for a defensive Pokemon, its attacks are even worse. It has very, very bad moves for its set. It can't back up its stats very well at all. It's just a terrible, terrible Pokemon. Beautifly gets 2 stars, Dustox only gets 1. The one new Pokemon you can find on Route 103 is Wingull. Wingull is a water flying type and can have the ability Kenai, basically. In all 3 games it can be found on routes 103, 104, 110, 115, 118, 121, 123, as well as the outside of Mount Pyre in the grass. However, while surfing it can be found pretty much everywhere. When looking at its stats, you can tell that it's very zippy for an unevolved Pokemon, and has kind of very bad defenses really. However, its special attack is okay for unevolved Pokemon. When it evolves into Pelipper at level 25, it takes more on of a defensive role, kind of ish, having pretty decent physical defense, however kind of bad stats everywhere else. However, its special attack is usable, certainly usable, being as good as Swampert, and can learn moves such as Surf, Ice Beam, and oddly Shockwave, which is kind of nice. Deals with those opposing water types quite nicely. Its ability stays the same though, but when comparing Pelipper to other water types, it really is not very good at all, especially when comparing it to Pokemon such as Swampert, Ludicolo later on in the game, and Sharpedo as well later on. It's just not very good. However, early on, if you do want a water type and you didn't pick up a Swampert or Trico, like say if you chose Torchic and you're worried about the first gym, which is a rock type, Wingull is a pretty decent choice for that first gym, as it can learn Water Gun very early on. And Water Gun is pretty powerful actually at this point in the game. So yeah, I'd say Pelipper is okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. Feel free to use it. I would give Pelipper 2.5 stars. Okay, so let us... Oh, hello. You've moved. I finished sketching the footprints of a rare Pokemon, but it turns out they were only my own footprints. What a retard. How can you seriously not know your own footprints? That is so stupid. I can't even fathom how stupid that is. I didn't actually catch a Wurmple yet, but I will do it at some point. So, hello. I'm going to catch a whole bunch of Pokemon. Please do. So you can't, well, you can catch some new Pokemon here, but I'm not going to do them just yet, as in the Pokemon reviews for them. I'll kind of split them up a little bit. So I'll do them at the end of the route, which will actually be at the end of this episode. So yeah, I can't walk. Hello. So this is your first experience to a trainer battle. As soon as your eyes meet, then you are forced into a trainer battle. So yeah. This is our first battle against youngster Calvin, who has a Poochyena. Level 5. So, let's use Absorb, which probably is actually weaker than Pound at this point, but Absorb is really bad. Really bad. Oh, Howl, that is not good. Oh well. These trainer battles give 50% extra experience if you Okay, so let me put this into perspective here. If you were to take out this, wow, that did a lot. If you take out a level 5 Poochyena in the wild, and you get, say, I don't know, 10 experience, just kind of off the top, it's not really an accurate value, but just, you know. Whereas if you were to fight a level 5 Poochyena against a trainer, you would get 15 experience. So you get 50% more. Alright, so, what do you have? What do you have? What do you have? Haha, our eyes met. I'll take you on with my bug Pokemon. I bet you can see what's coming. So you're going to see plenty of these guys with their Wurmples. Don't worry if you're using Trico, they won't have any bug type attacks. In fact, there are very, very, very few Pokemon in this game who have a bug type attack that is worth using. Let me think of any. There's Heracross, who doesn't get the good bug type move until after game, and I think that's it. There are literally no good bug type moves because Beedrill is not in this game, and well, you can like breed for Silverwind, and you can have a Beautifly, or I think Dustox learns it as well, who also learns Silverwind. But apart from that, there's like nothing. There's nothing, because the best other move is like Fury Cutter, which sucks when you compare it to either Ice Ball or Rollout, which have 30 power as opposed to Fury Cutter's 10, which kind of sucks. But anyway, ow, down and out. So take out his measly Wurmples and let's move on. Oh, hello. Oh look, a Poochyena. How boring. You're boring, get away from here. Get away, get away, get away, get away. Don't need to fight you. Hello? I'm not very tall, so I sink right into tall grass. The grass goes up my nose and... nose and... Wha-choo! I pressed A far too quickly then. But anyway. Oh, hello. Ambush. Did you just become a trainer? We're both beginners. Well, I'm still going to beat you. Let that be known. Alan, with your Zigzagoon. Going to be seeing plenty of these things throughout the game. So let's use Absorb. Nice for recovering health at least. Still not doing a huge amount of damage, but better than nothing, I guess. I'll be getting a better-ish grass type move before too long. I say ish because it really isn't very good at all, but doesn't matter, I guess. You know, just kind of go with what you got, which is very little. As there are also very few good grass type moves in this game as well. There's literally Giga Drain for practically every grass type. Anyway, so this guy also has a Tailo, which we haven't seen before, and isn't even catchable on this route. But it is a normal flying type, and as you can see, it has a flying type move, so do be careful if you're using Trico. But it's nothing too special. Has low defences. I called you because I thought I could beat you. Well, you didn't. So, ha. So here is a new feature to... well, it's kind of a new-ish feature to 3rd gen. You have berries, which you can actually plant and grow more of, as opposed to the other 2nd gen games when you could just pick them and then that was it. But yeah, some Oran berries which heal 10 HP and some Pecha berries which heal poison over there. I'm going to keep winning and aim to be the best trainer. Help me further my career. Okay. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Tiana, with your Zigzagoon. So let's use Absorb just to try and get some health back. Doesn't really matter because we're right near the next city. Growl. Not bothered, I'm using a special attack. So, use another Absorb. Oh, 2-hit KO. Awesome. And what is your other Pokemon? Because you're going to get me to level 10, which is helpful. Oh, a Shroomish. Another Pokemon we can't catch yet, but it's a grass type. Little offensive. I think it has Stun Spore, which can paralyse you, which is really frustrating. Oh, okay, well it has Effect Spore, which has a 30% chance of inflicting you with, if you attack it with a contact move, it has a 30% chance of inflicting you with either paralysis, poison, or sleep. So do be careful with that. Of course you're fine if you're using Torchic. You're pretty much fine on this entire route if you're using Torchic. Another 5-star Pokemon. The starters in this game are just amazing. Seriously. They really are amazing Pokemon. Oh, really? Come on. There we go. Only took forever. There we go, level 10. Still haven't learned a new move. I ended up furthering your career. Ha ha ha, and I will run away from you now. So there are those ledges which you can jump down from, but you can't jump back up them, so it's helpful for getting back through a route, like, say, over here. But you can't... sorry, you can get a potion just there. I'm going to end this episode off here, but I will be doing the Pokemon reviews for Route 102 at the tail end of this, so do keep a watchful eye for that. But yeah, obviously this was the first episode of a new LP, so do give me some feedback in the comment section below. Leave a like rating, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, if you like my content, the usual stuff, blah blah blah. So yeah. Until next time, hopefully you like it, so hopefully there will be a next time. But until then, I'll see you next time, guys. One of the new Pokemon you can find on Route 102 is Lotad. Lotad is a water grass type, which is quite an interesting mix. Can have the abilities either Swift Swim or Rain Dish. In Ruby and Sapphire it can be found on routes 102 and 114, but only in Sapphire. It is totally absent in Ruby. And in Emerald it can be found on routes 102 and 114. When looking at its stats, it's kind of bad all across the board, to be quite honest with you. Special defense being its best stat. However, its special attack is okay, I guess. When it evolves into Lombre at level 14, keeps its type, keeps its abilities. It can be found on route 114 in Sapphire and Emerald, again absent in Ruby. When looking at its stats, it picks up a little more in the special attack department as well as special defense. On a little on the slow side though. However, its stats aren't bad for an unevolved Pokemon. To evolve it into a Ludicolo, you must use a Water Stone on it, but when it does so, it gets a lot more in the special attack and special defense department, having pretty decent stats in those two departments. Its defenses are okay, its physical attack is usable, and its speed is kind of on the iffy side. It's still okay, but it's not amazing. Ludicolo is quite frankly an amazing Pokemon. Both of its abilities are fantastic for it. I'd probably say in-game that Swift Swim is probably better than Rain Dish, but it has a moveset that is completely suited for it. Its main moveset that I personally use, obviously you can use a different one, but I personally use is Giga Drain, which you get later on, Surf, later on of course, Ice Beam, and Rain Dance. That combined with Swift Swim and the power up from Rain to give to Surf is amazing. It becomes a really fast Pokemon, and combined with Surf it is very powerful. Now Ludicolo is not a 5-star Pokemon, it's 4.5 stars. Why, you may ask, when I'm describing it as this amazing Pokemon? Well, the problem is that Lombre, while okay, you have to rely on it for about, well okay, let's just say this, you'll probably end up having Lombre just before the first gym, and you won't get Ludicolo until after the 7th gym, which is when you can gain access to Water Stones. To wait that long with an unevolved Pokemon sucks. Lombre really is not that good. But when it's fully evolved into Ludicolo, it really is a very good Pokemon. So because of that, it will get 4 stars, but because of having to wait that long for an evolution, pushes it down to 4.5. Another new Pokemon you can find on Route 102 is Seedot. Seedot is a grass type. It can have the abilities either Chlorophyll or Early Bird. In Ruby and Sapphire it can be found on routes 102 and 114, but is completely absent in Sapphire. It can only be found in Ruby. In Emerald it can be found on routes 102, 114 and 120, but do bear in mind that it is very rare on all three of those routes, can only be found 1% of the time. When looking at its stats, it's got a fairly similar build to Lotad, being more physically defensive however. When it evolves into Nuzleaf at level 14, it picks up a Dark subtype, which is quite interesting, nice mix. Can be found on Route 114, only in Ruby, once again, and in Emerald it can be found on Route 114 as well, again, rarely though. When looking at Nuzleaf, you can tell that it's obviously made for attacking, with its decent enough attacking stats and pretty decent speed. Its HP isn't bad either. When it evolves into Shiftry using a Leaf Stone, its stats become even better, its physical attack being its best stat, as well as special attack being pretty decent, having on that kind of okay, like bad to very good speed tier. I mean, it's okay but not amazing. However, if you combine that with Chlorophyll, it really does become pretty good. Stays with that grass dark type. When it comes to Shiftry, Shiftry is a very good Pokemon. As a grass type, it really is one of the better ones. Its stats let it go with a variety of attacking moves. It can learn plenty of them. A similar kind of set to Sceptile. However, Sceptile is much better than Shiftry. Even with the Dark subtype, Shiftry has to rely on Giga Drain for its grass type move, and for its Dark type move it has to stay as a Nuzleaf for quite a while until it gets Faint Attack. However, when comparing it to Ludicolo, you can get a Leaf Stone just before the 6th badge, I believe, so it's not as long to wait, and you get a Nuzleaf around about level 28, I would say. Sorry, get a Shiftry. You can evolve your Nuzleaf. Shiftry is pretty good, but it's not incredible, and the fact that you have to speed it up using Chlorophyll, using a Fire type move, means that it's going to be adding to its already weak Fire move. Well, it's already weak to Fire type moves, so it's going to be powering them up, which kind of sucks. But Shiftry is a pretty good Pokemon. I would give it 4 stars. The final new Pokemon you can find on Route 102 is Ralts. Ralts is a Psychic type, and it's the first one you can find in the game. It can be found on Route 102 in all 3 games. Quite rarely though, only 4% of the time. Can have the abilities either Synchronize or Trace. Both are pretty good abilities. It starts off with only Growl as its attacking move, so you will have to kind of baby it a little bit before it gets Confusion. But its stats are okay. They're quite low for an unevolved Pokemon. Special attack, of course, being its best one, but it's okay as a Ralts. When it evolves into Curlier, though, at level 20, it picks up a little more in the special attack department. Its special defense is also a little better, and its speed is okay as well. You can kind of see where its build is going to go. But when it evolves into Gardevoir at level 30, keeps its abilities, everything else, but really rockets its stats. Its special attack becomes amazing. Its special defense is amazing as well. Its speed is again on that 80 tier, so it's kind of on the okay-ish side. Its defenses on the physical side are very bad though. Gardevoir is one of the most overused Pokemon in the Hoenn games, and it's not hard to see why with those stats. The only kind of area that it really falls a little flat is the fact that it really doesn't have very much in the way of coverage. It basically gets a Psychic type move, and then you can give it, say, Shockwave or Thunderbolt later on, and then it will get Calm Mind, which is a very good move for it, upping its special attack and special defense, bolstering its 2 best stats, which is pretty good. Can also use Dual Screens, but kind of has to rely on Hidden Power for another special attack, which a little, it sucks a little bit, but it's in the same kind of boat as Alakazam, which you can get later on. But that's not to say Gardevoir's a bad Pokemon, because Gardevoir gets 4.5 stars. It's pretty damn good.